Hello and welcome to Feel Good Yoga Flow, and today we will focus on pigeon poses. Supine, standing, up, down, all kinds of ways to feel good in our hips and knees and ankles. And there will be lots of variations, but it's just fully intentional to just feel good. So see what works for you in each and every pose. There'll be a little flow in, but mainly pose to pose, kind of like maybe a little staccato yoga today, and that's okay too. So let's start by sitting nice and tall onto the sit bones and taking the palms together. And even maybe before you get your palms together, just kind of scan your surrounding, that you have 2 blocks nearby or 2 thick books or maybe even a chair if you needed to for the standing pigeon poses for support. So with that, we'll take our palms together and sit nice and tall on the sit bones. Joining our voices in one Om. We'll take a nice big inhale. And exhale, release the hands. And inhale, take the arms all the way up towards the ceiling, towards the sky. Stretch the side body, lift the side of the waist, side of the hips, and all the tissues around the hips. Just give them a little bit of a breath, and then gently take the left hand down and the right arm up and over. Stretching into the side, sinking down in the sit bones, and gently take it all the way up and over. Take your right hand down, left arm up and over, gently stretching into the side body. And exhale, take it all the way back down. Make your way up to all fours, please. Tuck the toes under, shoulders and wrists are stacked, knees and hips are stacked. They might even be, maybe your knees are slightly away, like an inch away from your, further away from your hips. And tuck the toes. So we have that nice awareness into the lower abs. Exhale, arch the spine up to the sky, top of the head towards your mat. And exhale, hollow the upper arm bones. And exhale, press the spine and widen the whole back body and massage the front body. Exhale, bring it all the way back down, and we'll do it one more time. Exhale, arch the spine and come to neutral spine. Secure your front side by bringing some nice awareness into the front of the body. Take downward facing dog, and with your down dog, it's like a combo, down dog, pedal heels, heel pedaling down dog. That works too. Press the palms and lift the upper arm bones, knit the spaces between the ribs together, and then stretch from there as well. So we get like a full, nice body stretch in our downward facing dog. We'll take 3 breaths here. Maybe you're up on your toes, bending your knees, whatever works for your down dog. Just make sure that you press your palms away and feel really good in the shoulders, so that you are pressing the palms maybe down into the mat and beyond, but at the same time lengthening from your palms through your wrists, your elbows, your shoulders, up to the hips. And then you should feel a nice flow of energy into the back of the legs. One more breath right here. And then gently come up onto the toes, bend the knees, take your feet over to the hands. Inhale, long spine. We're going to stay low for a little bit longer. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold. Just kind of wanted to get our backs and the hips warmed up. Inhale, long spine. And exhale, hinge and fold. One more time. Inhale, make a nice big spinal wave. Ardha Uttanasana, exhale, hinge and fold. Bend your knees and come all the way down to a seat. And we're gonna just roll down vertebrae by vertebrae. You might hold on to your legs, or you might just simply come all the way down. If you needed a pillow under your head for supine pigeon poses or figure 4, however you'd like to call them, bring the feet all the way together. Press your head, get your shoulder blades neatly organized underneath your right ankle over the left knee. Perhaps this is plenty, or maybe your hands come underneath your left knee and press your right ankle into your left knee and come into a nice active supine pigeon pose. You can stay here. You can also take your hands below the left knee on your shin if your right hip allows it. See if you can get a little counter action by, I know that the legs are kind of pulling up the seat, so we want to at the same time do a little opposite and get a little anterior tilt on the hips and get the tailbone more kind of straight forward towards the mat and get a nice engagement into the lower back. And I'm hoping that you're feeling really good into your right hip right now, into the rotators, maybe the whole IT band. We'll take one more breath right here. And then exhale, release, and switch to the second side. Take your left ankle over your right knee and bring your hands underneath your right hamstrings. Activate your toes, activate your feet. You can actively press your left ankle into the top of the right knee. And at the same time, you can do a slight anterior tilt with the hips, bringing the tailbone more straight down towards the edge of the mat rather than pulling it up towards the ceiling. Yeah, and that way we get you elongate into the spine as well. And there should be some good feedback into the left side of the thigh, the whole area. Adductors, abductors, rotators. We'll take one more breath here. And then exhale, release. Take your right foot all the way down. Take your knees into the chest. Hug them all the way in. Anterior tilt of the hips. Pull the belly in at the same time. Hands can be on the knees. They can be underneath the knees if we need a cushioning for the knees. Anything that works. One more breath here. We're just holding upward facing child's pose. From here, arms inside the legs, hands outside the feet. Happy baby pose. Give yourself a few breaths right here. And again, we'll see if we can really lift the lower abs and get the tailbone more straight down towards the front of the mat. Anterior tilt of the hips, plugging the femurs in, opening up in towards adductors, hamstrings, rotators. See if you can get that 90-degree angle on your shin. Few more breaths right here. Stretching the legs and just really starting by opening the hips. From here, take the knees all the way in and hold on to your right leg. Extend your left leg out. Knee to chest and extend your right leg up to the sky. You can spread your toes up here. Open up into the whole plantar side of your foot. 7,000 nerve endings. So we want to make sure that we have a full opening and making sure the energies can really release whatever needs to release and replenish into some new healthy pathways. Walk your hands up to your ankle. Use the abdominals. Take your head towards your knee, towards your shin with the help of your abs. Stretch fully in towards that right hip, hamstring area. Few more breaths. And then exhale, roll it all the way back down. Bend your knee. We'll take that left leg back up for figure four one more time. This time, maybe we'll stretch the left leg up and take your hands around the ankles. Now we're going to be definitely more onto the lumbar spine than onto the sacral region for this version of pigeon. Few breaths right here. I feel like doing some of this even before we come to standing poses really makes the body feel so much better. Feels good to just come to standing poses after the hips and the legs have had a chance to open up, besides just starting off putting a whole bunch of pressure downward. So instead we do it kind of upward. One more breath here. And bend your left leg, put it back down, switch sides, take your left knee into the chest, extend your right leg if it's available, knee to chest. Extend your leg up to the sky, hands around hamstrings, or hands can walk up towards the ankle. You can use your abdominals and roll your way up, head towards the knee, head towards the shin, with the help of the abs. Knit the ribs together and roll yourself up. Few breaths right here. One more breath into hamstring layers, into the right hip flexor layers, and then we'll bend it all the way back down. Bend your knee, take your right leg up and put your left ankle onto your top of the right knee for another version of pigeon pose or figure four. Take your hands somewhere around your lower shin. This one can certainly be done bending the right leg. It does not have to be straight. But we'll do a whole bunch of different options today. Breathing into any of the tight layers. Exhaling any stiffness, staleness out. Making ways for some new, fresh energies to find the layers that needs a little update. One more breath here. And exhale, release. Take your right knee down, put your foot down. Bring your feet mats width apart. Take your arms out to the side. Windshield wipers, just knees side to side. At your own pace. Make sure to take it nice and easy. It should feel really good, so we're not stressing anything. It's a good time to just kind of check and see how it feels for quads, hip flexors, the knees, lower backs, SI joints, and maybe all the way up to the shoulders. We'll do a few more. Right here. One more side to side. And gently bring the knees into the chest. And take your hands underneath. We're going to roll it all the way up. Cross at the ankles and make your way to downward facing dog, please. And then we'll see how it feels this time around. It's going to feel a little bit different. Hopefully a whole lot better than that first down dog we had. Spread the fingers, second finger forward, press the palms, lift the upper arm bones. Lengthen the whole side body. From here, step your feet over to your hands, please. Inhale, long spine. And exhale, fold. Press the feet, roll up, vertebrae by vertebrae by vertebrae. You can bend slightly into the knees. Take your arms all the way up. Palms together, hands down to the heart. Nice. And exhale, release the hands. Inhale, bring it all the way up. Exhale, hinge and fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, step to plank pose. Shoulders and wrists are stacked. You can always put your knees down at any time. Build some front support and gently take the knees down. Come all the way down. Widen your hands, stretch your legs back. You can widen your feet slightly. Make your way into cobra. Inner shoulder to outer shoulder, low cobra, high cobra, whatever your spine is asking for, whatever your chest, your belly, your shoulders are asking for, and definitely your hips. It should feel good. That's the baseline of today's practice. Just feel good. And then exhale, release it back down, hands by shoulders, child's pose, big toes together, knees apart, stretch the arms forward, forehead to the floor. And gently make your way back to downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Come up onto the toes, bend the knees, take your right ankle over your left knee, bend your left knee, and here we have a pigeon version in downward facing dog. Karate chop your right ankle into the top of the left knee grove. There's like a little spot right there for it to hang out. The key is to come up onto that left toes and bend your knee and then lift your sacrum up to the sky. And that's that anterior tilt of the hips that will turn into the right hip opening feeling. A few more breaths right here. And gently take that right leg up to the sky. Keep your leg bent. Bring your knee up to the sky. You can stretch down through the whole left heel if you'd like to, the left back of the leg. Come back up on the toes, bend your knees slightly, step your right foot between the knees, take your left knee to the floor, Anjasana. Inhale, take your arms forward and up, and check in to see how it feels with the front and the back of the thighs, front and the back of the belly, the back, side body. One more breath, and exhale, take it back down, step back, downward facing dog. You can take child's pose, or you can come forward to plank with me. Shoulders and wrists are stacked. And exhale, take your knees down, bring it all the way down. Widen your hands. Take your cobra. I like to widen my feet slightly. Take your chest forward and up, pull your ears back. And exhale, bring it all the way back down. Hands by shoulders, child's pose. One breath. Exhale. You feel really nice and good into the whole back body. Downward facing dog. Just gently make your way back to down dog. To that walking, pedaling down dog. From here, come up onto the toes, bend the knees, take your left ankle over your right knee and bend your right knee. That's where you kind of get that shelving space for the left ankle. Press the palms, lengthen the side body, raise your sacrum, anterior tilt your hips and get into that left side of the hip, the rotators. Few more breaths right here. And gently take your left leg up to the sky and give yourself a nice big open hip here. You can take your right heel down for a whole back leg stretch. And then bring yourself back up onto your right toes, bend your knee, step your left foot between your hands, take your right knee down, sweep the arms forward and up for Anjasana. Inhale, exhale, pull your left heel towards your left seat and get that nice traction and hugging in feeling. Few more breaths and then exhale, take it all the way back down, step it back. Downward facing dog. Press the palms, lift the upper arm bones, come to plank pose, shoulders and wrists are stacked. Bring your knees down, come all the way down. Inhale to cobra, inner shoulder to outer shoulder. Pull the ears back. Exhale, bring it back down. Child's pose. One breath. Pull the belly button in, expand the back body, move your energies, come back to downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Step one foot between the hands. You choose which one works for you, so you can still hang out with me here. We can face each other. Turn your toes slightly in, heels slightly out. Hands underneath your shoulders. Cat-cow or shoulder push-ups, hugging the upper arm bones in and then protruding them back out. So some nice good movement in towards upper back, and it really ripples effect the whole spine, and it certainly ripples effect all the way to the hips. Hamstrings, use your abs, your core, and then exhale, come to neutral, take your right elbow into your right knee and come to Skandasana with your left toes up and your left heel down. I'm just gonna hang out here. I'm just opening to adductors. Few breaths and then gently come up and over. Second side, left elbow into the left knee, right heel down, toes up to the sky. Adductors. Few more breaths. And exhale, bring it back up. Take your hands between the heel of your feet. So the heel of the hands are lined between the heel of the feet. Arch your spine. Exhale, take the top of the head towards the floor. And just a nice, yummy back of the body stretch. Now we have blocks. Take a block anytime you need to. You take a block for the head so you have something to kind of press against, or just something to relax for the nervous system, so it feels really good to stay into your Prasarita Padottanasana. Pull the shoulders away from the ears, feet wide apart, ground all four corners of the feet. Few more breaths right here. And then gently make your way back up and come to downward facing dog, please. Padma Mukha Svanasana. Excellent. Or that walking down dog. Because you don't have to be like a static hold in every pose. There's some good organic movements going through, so we can really make sure that we're releasing any tension, that the reason maybe we came to the yoga mat to begin with. Gently come up onto the toes and make your way to tabletop, please. Take your right knee up and hip circles, right leg down and around. Big hip circles. Squeeze your glutes. Make sure to activate your glutes and your lower abs. And we'll do 5 this one way. And then from here, we'll come back down and switch to the second side. Take your leg up behind and then down and around. 5 nice big wide circles. Squeezing glutes, holding lower abs in. Just staying plugged in to that center. And then from here, we'll take it all the way back down and find downward facing dog, please. Step your feet to your hands. Inhale, long spine, and exhale, fold. Hands to hips, elbows to sky, root your feet. Come all the way up to standing and release the hands. And we'll come to that standing pigeon or standing figure 4. Today we call them pigeon because this is a yoga flow to feel good and doing pigeon poses. So take your blocks or take your chair if you need to, or maybe you need nothing. Maybe you need nothing. Feet can come all the way together. Take your right ankle over your left knee. Anterior tilt your hips. There's some turning and churning into that right hip. And I mean, maybe there is not. And maybe you put your hands straight down. Maybe you take your hands on blocks and enjoy. So whatever works for you. You can turn and churn here a little bit into that hip and moving it about. You can bend into your standing leg. You can move your blocks down. Untie knots in rotators, IT band, adductors, the gracilis muscle. Maybe the hands flatten down even more. Maybe they come all the way down, depending on how you are doing in your hips. Just make sure that it feels good. It's not straining or pulling, or the ego is taken over to put the hands all the way down just because we think that's the way it's supposed to be. As long as you're feeling a nice gentle stretch in your right hip, that's all that matters right now. Few more breaths right here, and then we'll just switch it and take it step by step, hands to hips, and then make your way back up. Take that right knee into your chest and hug it in so that the muscles and ligaments and tendons around the knee has a chance to align in a nice, even standing way. And then we'll do the second side. So from here, feet together, take your left knee over your right and anterior tilt your hips. Take your hands maybe to your chair, maybe to blocks, and move and groove around here and check and see how it feels for that left side. And we'll just move it along, and we're securing the lower abs in, so we're not only putting pressure on the hip, but we support it by squeezing the muscles into the center line at the same time. We'll have like a good time here. Breathe in. It's like we have like a chance to kind of unscrew and screw the hips back on in a nice, comfortable way. Untie knots, clearing pathways. One more breath, and then we'll take ourselves back up, step by step, hands to hips. Bring your left knee in, and depending on what side of the hip feels stronger or knee surgeries or hip replacements, one leg is definitely going to be more stable than the other. So we come to the mat to kind of open those pathways. You can put the blocks to the side for now, and we'll come to the front of the mat. Put your hands to the side. Feet can be hip widths apart. We'll have a few trikonasanas, a few warrior trikonasanas coming up to build some strength into the hips after that. Inhale, palms together. Exhale, hinge and fold. After we open the hips, we kind of rewire them again. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, hinge and fold. Place the hands by the feet, step back, downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Sweep your right leg up towards the horizon. Pull the inner edges of the feet together. Bring it all the way up. And then step your right foot between the hands and windmill up into warrior two. Taking the arms out to the side. So we'll have the right foot forward and the left foot back. Squeeze glutes, quads, hamstrings, lower abs. Take your right palm up to the sky. Just a nice big full extension. Forearm to thigh, left arm up and over. You can certainly take that right arm to the floor as long as it feels good. Just a nice, feel good Parsva Konasana for today. Press into the feet, extend the arms out to the side, extend your legs by pressing into the mounds of the big toes. Take your right arm all the way up for a nice big extension, and then we're going to take the right hand down to the knee. Make a fist out of the left hand, and we're just going to kind of saw our way down and then bring it back up. And sawing our way down and bringing it back up. Yeah, and we'll do that again. Sawing it all the way down, bringing it back up. You can have your gaze down towards your mound of the big toe. And we'll just really steady ourselves into the hips, hamstrings, adductors, lower abs. And we'll do one more. Bringing it all the way down and then leaving the hand either on a block or by the ankle and extending the left hand. The gaze can stay down because we want to feel good. We don't want to strain ourselves, and we don't have to take the gaze up today. Today's all about grounding, feeling good, opening the hips. One more breath right here. And exhale, press into the feet. Take your arms all the way out and then step to the front. And feet together. Inhale, bring the arms up to the sky. Exhale, hinge and fold, Uttanasana, bending into your knees. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, step to downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. And then from here, sweep your left leg up to the horizon. Pull the inner edges of the feet together. Take your left leg up to the sky. Use your glute, use your lower abs. Step your left foot between the hands for warrior two. Take your right arm up and around, arms to the side. Feel nice and steady in both legs, both feet equally. Left palm up to the sky. Take your bicep up for a nice big side body stretch. Take your left forearm to your left thigh. Right arm up. Should feel super good right here. You can take the arm over for a nice side body stretch. The gaze can come up and can come down wherever it feels good. It feels good today to look straight ahead for me. And then gently from here, take it all the way back up, arms out, and press into the mounds of the big toes. Left palm up, open the left side body, and then gently take it all the way out to the side. Take your left hand down to your knee, make a fist out of your right hand, and just start to kind of saw your way up and down. Open up into the hips, into adductors, finding stability and engaging core in your Trikonasana. Sometimes we just pop our way down and there's no engagement. So today we'll just add on some of this windmill actions. And we'll just keep sewing up and down until we feel like the hips are feeling really good, and maybe there is some alignments of ligaments and tendons that needs to take place before we make our way down. This way we build some good strength into the core for triangle. So we're not just overstretching hip flexors or hanging too much on that front leg. One more, and then we'll just stay all the way down. Maybe you bring in your block, you can extend your right hand, you can have your gaze down for stability. And we're just really working our nice balance right now by having the hand onto the ankle. Few more breaths right here. Bend into your front leg. Make your way back to Trikonasana, to Warrior Two, and then extending both legs and take your feet forward, hands to hips. Let's step over to the front of the mat and feet together, hands to the sides. Inhale, bring it all the way up. Exhale, hinge and fold. Forward fold. Inhale, long spine. We have Parivrtta Trikonasana left, and also a prone pigeon pose. Step to down dog, please. Come forward to your plank pose, claw your fingertips, find that stability in the front side of the body. Bring your knees to the floor, come all the way down. Inhale to come into your cobra, inner shoulder to outer shoulder, and exhale, bring it back down, push back for child's pose. One breath in child's pose. And gently come all the way back, downward facing dog, please. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Step your right foot between your hands, step your left foot in, possibly take your blocks on each side of your foot and ankle as a little platform for your hands. Left foot is slightly turned out on the toes and the heel slightly turned in. Right foot is fully down and the heel goes straight back. Press into your hands, arch your spine, and fold from there. Parsvottanasana, pyramid pose. From here you can take your left hand, you can leave it on that left side or cross it over to the block outside your right foot or on the floor. We did a lot of these twists the other day in our twisty feel good yoga flow. Press your left hand down, open up into that left, into the right hip, and then right arm up. Parivrtta Trikonasana. Gaze can stay down. Find your feet, find your left hand, and let the energy just pulsate to the center and back out. And exhale, take it back down. Step back, downward facing dog. You can use your blocks for your down dog, or you can take your blocks away. You can move about. Downward facing dog. Make your way with your left foot between your hands. Find your feet flat on the floor. If you needed to, you just put your right foot in a few inches and then pull your left hip back. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, hinge and fold. Parsvottanasana. Pyramid pose. Find both feet nice and even on your mat. Right hand outside your left shin ankle, or keep your hand on the inside. Left hand to the hip. Parivrtta Trikonasana. Find equal standing on your feet. Find that nice openness in towards the outer hips where we have turned and churned into our different pigeon versions. Take the gaze up towards the thumb and exhale, release. Bring it back down. Nice. Press your palms. Downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. From here, step your right foot between the hands. Take your left knee down. You can take one block away, and we might use this other block for our hip for pigeon. So extend your left leg, move your right foot, kind of break dance it over to the left side of the mat. And then we're going to karate chop the right little toe side and seesaw our way down to pigeon pose. Really extend that back leg, and we might come down and sit on that right on the abductor areas and the sit bone on the right side. We can chuck pillows or blocks right underneath that femur bone for the really much nicer feeling, unless you feel really good coming all the way down. You can sit upright, you can fold forward, just make sure that it feels really good. You can bring in your blocks for your hands. Forward facing pigeon pose. Enjoy. Just a nice, yummy hip opening, back release. One more breath here. And then gently come back up and take your way back to downward facing dog, please. Adho Mukha Svanasana. I'm going to move my block over to the left side and step the left foot between the hands. Nice big wide low lunge. You can take your knee down and walk your foot over, or you can have that right leg lifted like on the first side. Do a little break dance move with your left foot over to the right side of the mat. Karate chop, little pinky toe side down. And of course how it feels for the knees and ankles. Take it to where it feels good for you. This is the side where I want to bring the block in like right away and sit on, or maybe like a pillow or anything that makes it feel really good. And it's nice to know that our practices changes with each week, each month, and definitely each year. And you know what I mean. Tuck the toes under. So we just move to practices that works for us when it comes to yoga. Maybe it's one pose. Maybe it's just a few feel-good classes. Maybe it's a flow class. Maybe it's yin classes. Choose what works for you. Tuck your right toes under, and then here we are. And I'm hoping that most of you who are with me here, that if sitting down like this, because I know some of you are doing this with me because of knees and hips, and if it doesn't work to face forward, then we flip ourselves onto our back, of course, and pull that one knee into the chest, and then we have the same pose pretty much. Take your forearms down. We have the same pose without any unnecessary stress onto knees or hips. There's definitely some feel-good stress right here on knees and hips. Move your way, have a good time right here. Activate your feet, activate your muscles, your skin, your bones, everything. And we'll take another breath right here, and then exhale, hands to the mat. Use your core, step it back, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take your blocks to the side. Make your way to plank pose. Shoulders and wrists are stacked. Knees to the floor. Come all the way down. Inhale to cobra. Widen your feet slightly so it feels good for the hips. And then exhale, bring it all the way back down. Hands by shoulders. Child's pose. Big toes together, knees apart. Take a nice relaxing child's pose. Elbows comes down. Forehead comes down. If you have somebody in the room, maybe they want to press on your back a little bit. We'll take another breath right here. And gently come up to all fours. Downward facing dog. Walk your feet to the hands. Long spine, feet hip widths apart, or even outer hip widths apart. Bend into your knees, long spine. Exhale, hinge and fold. Bend your knees and come to a seat. And we're going to roll all the way down, vertebrae by vertebrae by vertebrae. And we'll come all the way down right here. Make our way back in with the knees to the chest. A few laps this way and a few laps the other way. And just getting that sacrum nice and organized. From here, hug it all the way in. We'll come back with legs up to the sky like we did in our first Feel Good Yoga class, where we just get to take the arms and the legs up and let everything release all the way down and grounding into lower back, grounding into shoulders, feeling all four corners, hips, shoulders, grounding down. One more breath. And then exhale, take the feet down, hands to the sides. Press the head, adjust the shoulder blades, maybe even press the hips, bring the feet together, take your right ankle over your left knee, and then we'll close out with a few bridge lifts by pressing the left foot down and having our pigeon right leg, the right ankle over your left knee, right in that little grove right above the left knee. And we'll just press down and lift up and make sure that you have all four corners of that left foot flat. Squeeze your glutes. Adjust rotators, clean and clear anything in the hips so that we can stay nicely connected upper and lower body and stay super connected into our legs, into our bones, into the feet, into the heart of earth. And really just kind of stay and be grounded. And then exhale, bring it all the way back down and switch sides. Take your right foot down, left ankle over your left knee, press your right foot and lift and lower, and lifting and lowering. Pigeon variation in a supine form. Checking to see that the left side of the hip had a nice release in the different pigeon forms, and then this is like the ultimate pigeon release form with a little movement and making sure the sacrum kind of finds a nice easy place, and then the hips adjust, knees adjust, ankles adjust, and all the 7,000 nerve endings on the feet, they're just like singing and breathing right now. We'll do one more up and then exhale. Take it back down. Take your feet wide. One more figure four. Windshield wiper version. Knees side to side. Last one. Bring your knees into the chest. Hands under the knees. You can roll to the side or you can roll all the way up. We're gonna sit nice and tall. Staff pose, Dandasana, right here. You can take your inner thighs wide and apart so you're sitting on your hamstrings, so that you're sitting on your sit bones. You can take one of your blocks between your knees or lower legs or maybe upper, depending, and you can turn your block higher or lower. Bring your arms up, heels down, spread your toes, ribs in. Expand the back body and secure the front side and secure the front and the back of the spine. And we'll check and see how it feels to do our Paschimottanasana forward fold to just kind of close up our practice. So your hands might be on the side. You might have a strap around your feet. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, hinge and fold. Maybe your head comes to a block, or maybe your head is free and you have this nice traction on your spine. So any of that works. Just make sure that it feels good, that the forward fold feels nice and yummy and good. And we'll just kind of sealing all of those pigeon poses in our legs, in our hips. A few more breaths right here. Just a nice, comfortable, relaxing forward fold with some muscle engagement so that we're sitting upright, so that we have hamstrings facing down, quads facing up. And gently make your way all the way back up. You might come and lay all the way down while I close up the practice sitting up. You can lay down in Shavasana, or you can come and take a seat with me. You can take your blocks under your knees for a super feel good feeling, so that your hips can relax and not having to hold on and tighten up into the hips again. So let's just take those blocks, or maybe a pillow underneath each, a slipper, anything that you have close by. Let's sit nice and tall on the sit bones. And breathe into those new layers. There was a lot of turning and churning into the hips. So whether you're laying down in Shavasana or if you're sitting up, let the whole body be as relaxed as it can, so the kind of replacing of energy into the layers that were stretched can take place. Highly recommend that if you're not in Shavasana right now, that you take a nice supine form with a nice cozy blanket over you after this practice. And thank you so very much for joining me for this third Feel Good Yoga Flow version of Pigeons today. And I look forward to seeing you in our next practice. And until then, have a great time and a great day, and stay healthy and keep practicing your yoga, keep getting outside until we meet here next time. Let's take our palms together in front of the heart. We'll wrap our practice into the beautiful chant of Lokah, Samastah, Sukhino, Bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace for all beings everywhere. Peace for our heart, peace for our mind, peace for our body. And really just wrap everything around you in peace. And then maybe we'll sit that out to everybody that we know and beyond. We'll do that with the extra energy that is buzzing around us right now from our yoga practice. So let's join our hands in front of our heart, and we'll start with one Om together. Take a nice big inhale. Lokah, Samastah, Sukhino, Bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you so much, everyone. Namaste, and I'll see you in the next video that I think is linked either up here or maybe it's up here somewhere. It's an easy click for the next practice to bookmark for the next day. Thank you so much. See you next time.